Hi, Delaware. This is Chris Rowe, and you're listening to Al Escobar on the Delaware Real Estate Show.
Hello, folks. How are you? It's Al Escobar, and you're listening to the Delaware Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining me today. It is July 12th, 2011. I don't always put the date in these podcasts because some of them are material that can be used over and over again. Some things are a snapshot of where we are today, and that's what we're talking about today. We have a handful of market statistics and information from Trend MLS. Information deemed reliable but not guaranteed. The market is changing out there. Things are happening. There's a lot of positive things in this market. There's a lot of downside to it too. Values are dropping. The bottom line is this is people's homes. If you're living in your home has a value that is immeasurable. It's the world to you. If you have to sell, unfortunately, it's going to hurt. And I see that in a lot of situations. I have one client who has reduced his price well over $100,000. And every penny of that is going to be a loss out of his pocket. He's not selling short. He's sitting in a good position on his home. Unfortunately, there are circumstances that are forcing him to sell, other than the market, job losses, and things like that. So there are some serious deals out there, folks. There's money available, as we found several weeks ago in talking to Chris Rowe, who I believe will be coming back in the next few weeks, getting us caught up with what he's doing. We're going to talk about a little bit about land, and then we're going to talk about residential properties in Newcastle and Kent County. I know it's a Delaware real estate show. I really don't have much experience in the Sussex County market. However, I am watching what's going on down there. Over the winter, I plan on getting involved. Next spring, to be an active player in the beach market. So, if you want a fresh look on things in the beach market for the 2012 season, 302-423-0276. Give me a call. Or email me, alescobar@gmail.com. Let's talk about land activity. Sold activity year to date. We're talking about total numbers here. And so far, in 2011, we have 46 deals between Kent and Newcastle County as far as land deals go. It's not a lot. In 2010, we had 59 land deals at this point. And you know, the numbers are going down. And the numbers are very low to begin with. As far as the numbers go, 46 and 59, that's a pretty low number. It could come down more, but that's a pretty low number. Between the two counties, when you separate them, though, there's a big difference in what's going on. Land is being hit very hard. The value of land is down. I know they're not making any more of it, but when people subdivide it and sell it off because, for whatever reason, you know, there's more available. And when they have to do that and there's no buyers, or very few buyers, the demand is down. So the value goes way down. In Kent County, in the last year, it lost about 50% of the numbers in the land market. It had 24 deals compared to 47 last year. Okay? Now, 47 last year is more than we had total this year between both the counties. So last year, Kent County was rocking, but this year they only did 24 deals. Newcastle County, on the other hand, they actually doubled their deals from 12 last year to 22 this year. They had 22, we had 24 down here. I say they and we. I live in Kent County. They are up there above Kent County. But altogether, our numbers are down 7% on the land deals. Land value has declined, but land is still selling. But it's just a little bit slower. In the residential market, sold units for 2011 were down 16% from 2010, where we've done 2,585 units versus 3,088 units at this point last year. That's a 16% decline. In Kent County, we had 545 units sold, and in Newcastle, we had 2,040 or so sold. The average sale price in Kent County is down 13% from last year to $170,000, and it's down 6% in Newcastle County to $198,000. So in Newcastle County right now, the average sale price is under $200,000. Some good news in the market, if you need to sell, is that sellers, which is you if you're listening and I'm talking to the sellers here, or agents, are actually becoming more persuasive in convincing their sellers to get their price in line with the market. And the good news here is that because people are realizing the market is going in a downward trend, that you have to get in front of that trend. And because people are getting in front of that trend, the time on the market is going down. Average days on market has continued to go down. I'm looking here, all of Newcastle County for May, average days on the market 91, June 88. In Kent County, we're still looking at over 100 days, 110 and 113 days. Now that's an average on residential sales, for the last 2 months. Okay, so a lot of properties are selling in 30, 40, 50 days. And down here in Kent County, they say we're a little bit slower, so we learn slower, we catch up later. So a lot of properties are selling, but there are still a handful of properties out there that have been way on the market way too long. They're way overpriced, or they were way overpriced. You've got to get these property prices in tune and in line with the market and in front of the downward trend. If the trend is going down and it's at 200, you need to be at 199, 195, 190, depending on what you have to offer if your realistic value is that close. If it's 202, you better go to 199. If the trend is going down and it's 200 and you go to 202 or 205 or 210, then the market is going to continue to go down in the few months that you sit. The distance between the market and the price you're asking will increase, and your showings will go down. So the offers will be slack as well. There's a lot of stuff going on in our market right now. Right now in Kent County, the inventory is increasing. Currently, for the months of June, and just for June and May alone, we have listed 527 properties in Kent County. 1,719 properties in Newcastle County. We have only sold 210 properties during those months in Kent County, which leaves an accumulation of 300 properties. Now, if we're selling 200 a month, but we're picking up 300 more than we're selling, we're adding more than a month onto our inventory every month in Kent County. Now, in Newcastle County, they sold 820. So, their number is just about the same. It's almost double. They're listing almost double of what they're selling. Their inventory is increasing. Unfortunately, with the increasing inventory, it just prolongs the amount of time that it's going to take for this market to turn around for the buyers, for the people that count on that equity in their home. The people that include their home on their asset statements, the value will continue to decline until this trend changes. So, if you're going to be putting a property on the market, please make sure it's priced properly. If it doesn't sell in 90 days, you don't have offers in 90 days, maybe you should reevaluate your marketing strategy and your price with your real estate agent. If you don't feel that the meeting that you had with your agent was enough, maybe you should check with another agent. You always have that option. Get another opinion, get a second opinion. Find out why there's a difference in price. See what the difference is in the marketing strategies. I'm always available. If you want a free market analysis on your property, please call me, 302-423-0276, or send me an email at alescobar@gmail.com. Today's Delaware Real Estate Show was brought to you by DelawareVideography.com. Delaware Videography. Videography, websites, and all your media needs for television and the web. That's DelawareVideography.com. We'll be right back. All right, you're back with Al Escobar and the Delaware Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, or tonight, or whatever time it is that you're tuning in. I appreciate it, greatly appreciate it. I look at those hits on YouTube. We don't get many hits, but we're getting a handful of downloads and quite a few subscribers through YouTube and alescobar.com. I'm sorry, not YouTube, iTunes and alescobar.com. So people are listening regardless of what the YouTube says. I mainly use YouTube because it's easy access for the front page of my website, and you can get it on your mobile device. So if you just go to alescobar.com on your mobile device, there's a YouTube link right there. I always keep the latest edition of the Delaware Real Estate Show there. And it's easy access on your computer or mobile device. Just go to alescobar.com. Right on the front page, there's a YouTube video right there. That's the current Delaware Real Estate Show. So, thanks, and check back often there. We're going to talk about settled properties for the month of June. From Trend MLS, information deemed reliable, but not guaranteed. This one's just for Kent County. Just to give you an idea what's going on in the market here. The activity in the market, total for the month of June, we had 105 total sales. 106 if you count the condo. There was one condo sold. So with that being said, most people move to Kent County, Delaware to a single family home. There are several townhouse units available, and they're going up. They're not deeded as condos. That's why they're not shown here as condos. There's no separation in this report for row homes, townhomes, and flats. But what I want to point out here, the important thing is the pricing. 50 grand or under, there was only 4 units sold. 50 to 100,000, there were 14 units sold. 100 to 150, there were 16 units sold. So there's a little bit of activity going under 150,000. Under 150, it looks like you have 35, 34 sales there. If you throw in the condo, it's 35. But then when you go over 150, your average, we're getting into our average price range here, 150 to 199,000. We had 27 sales in the month of June. Between 2 and 250, there were 22 sales. And of course, you see that number goes down, and then 250 to 300, there was 12, 3 to 350, there were 6, 350 to 4, there were only 2, and above that, there were only 2 sales. One was in 450 to 500, and one was in 550 to 600. So once you get over that $400,000 mark, there's not a whole lot of activity. There are properties on the market, but there's not a lot of activity. It's just a lot of money. A lot of money. There is money out there. It's available. It's not as easy to qualify as it used to be. That's why you don't see so many deals in that high-end range. Plus, there's just not that many people shopping. The most active part of the market is 2 to 250. 250 and up, it really starts to slow down. And under 150 is still quite active, so stuff doesn't last long. Usually when it's under 50 grand, those properties don't last but a few days, unless they're really, 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 really bad. You see a property that's sitting there for 50 grand. How long has it been at 50 grand or whatever the price is it's currently at? There's usually a reason for that. These bank properties that we have on the market, that's something that we got to talk about. The bank properties are an important segment of this market. They are a big chunk of the market. Them and the short sales are a big part of the market. I personally don't like messing with short sales, but there are some deals to be had in the short sale market. If you'd like to take a look at a short sale or a bank-owned property, I have a handful I can help get you in front of in several different price ranges. They're all a steal. They all look great on paper and on a computer, but when you get out there, a lot of them aren't as great as they might have seemed, but they're usually priced accordingly. Last week, I was on an appointment with a local doctor, and we were looking at some bank-owned properties, and I got to tell you, there was a handful of them that were just way out of line with the pricing. So we made offers that were nowhere near what they were asking. Of course, they were rejected, but it's worth the shot. I've seen offers get accepted that were well below what they were asking. With these bank properties and then short sales, you never know what they're going to do. If you got your money and your ducats lined up, then go for it. Get out there. The key thing is we got to get these properties off the market. We got to get some stuff moving. And these banks are pricing these properties to sell, and a lot of times you either have to have cash or a rehab loan. They are available. If you're maxed out on your mortgages and you can't think of a way to get any more money, give me a call. I have a handful of ideas that can help you tap into some extra funds. We have financing of programs available through several different banks that can help you get the money you need to get these deals done. There's money to be made out there. If there are any investors who would like to see how they can make money in this real estate market, I guarantee you that I can show you a plan where in a few short months we can make some money just by getting these properties up, cleaned up, back on the market, and sold for a fair market value. In addition, if you're a buy and hold investor, there's a boatload of properties that we can buy cheap, clean them up, and put right into your rental portfolio. I also manage properties, and I've done it with a good degree of success. So if you are interested in owning rental properties or seeing how you can make some money in this market, give me a call, 302-423-0276, or you can always reach me at alescobar@gmail.com. That's going to conclude our Delaware Real Estate Show for today. Don't forget to visit www.delawarevideography.com. Wedding videos, virtual tours, video tributes for deceased loved ones, memorial videos, legacy videos, video for web and TV. Websites. Delaware Videography has you covered for all your media needs. This is Al Escobar again with the Delaware Real Estate Show. Until next time, have a great day.